Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's awesome mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead. Oh my goodness. Now that is how you do it. I mean, that was so high intensity from start to finish. We picked up where we left off with Darryl, Sasha, and Abraham, and they're being confronted by this gang of these bikers, and they're working on behalf of some guy named Negan, and they're basically asking them for their weapons, and they're gonna take them and they're gonna drive them back to their camp, and they want to know where their camp is. And I mean, these guys are fierce. Daryl and them hand over their guns. The guy orders him to take Daryl to the back so that he can get more whatever other supply they still have. Sasha and Abraham are standing there defenseless, and at one point the guy has both guns pointed at them. He's like, as if he's going to shoot them. And then he says, "Don't worry, I'm not going to shoot you." Then he goes, "Actually, I am." And as he draws the gun again, boom! There's this huge explosion. And Daryl uses the rocket launcher that Abraham found back at the end of, like, I think it was the last episode, the mid-season finale, and he shoots them to smithereens. It was awesome. I was like, oh my god. Listen, I haven't been seeing ads for the commercial, but I've been hearing them say, "Oh, this is going to be like the most epic, dramatic, da 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 premiere." And I'm like, okay, who are they killing off? So I had no idea who they were going to kill off. It could have been Sasha right off the top. It could have been Abraham. I mean, I didn't think it would be Daryl, but guys, I had no idea who was going to go. So I was like watching it like this, and then that was sick. And then, oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, those scenes with Denise and the walk and the wolf, a little too long for my liking. I like we're supposed to see a bit of a transformation in him, and fine, whatever, but I was like, blah blah blah, get on with it. And then there was a couple other scenes too where I was like, oh, it was with Glenn and Eden, and it's like there's too much talking. Can we just get to the action? And we saw Maggie at the very tail end of this episode I mean, we saw her obviously in the mid-season finale, but you totally forgot she was up on this platform. Glenn mentions it, but we don't even see her until the bitter end of this episode. So, I mean, we could have done with a little bit less talking between those scenes, especially because I just don't care. I don't want to hear Glenn once again tell Eden to stay put. I just don't want to hear it. And then to hear to see these scenes between Denise and the wolf, I was just kind of like, all right, let's get on with it. Make a break for it. And, the fact that they had been there from daylight to night and no walker had gone down those steps and sniffed them out, I just didn't buy it. And they were talking. I was like, yeah, right. So that scene, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. But wowza. I mean, I was not really a fan of Jessie or her kids. And at the end of the mid-season finale, when Sam is walking down the steps and he starts calling out his mom's name, I was like, he's going to get them all killed. Like, enough already. Her family has been the nemesis of this Alexandria. Okay, the husband was nuts, the wife useless, her kids even more useless. And the fact that they killed all three of them. And the fact that they started with the boy, the fact that they started with Sam and they actually went there and killed him first, watched his mom watch her kid get eaten in front of them. And then for her to scream, and then it just happened to her just like that. And then the son to draw the gun, of course, at Rick. Well, Rick, Rick has really lost it lately. We knew this was coming. But the fact that he thought in some strange world that this kid who knows you killed his father, he's deranged already, that you think he was never gonna try to do something to hurt you. Anyway, so the fact that he draws the gun, and then the fact that Michonne just, oh my god, there was just so much in that moment that was nuts. And then Carl getting shot in the face. I mean, come on, people. How much more dramatic could this episode have been? So not only that, but then at the end, when Maggie's up on the platform and Edith, whichever, they make the break for it, and Glenn starts firing off his gun to save Maggie, to distract them, and then all the zombies. I'm like, so wait, is Glenn gonna die for realsies this time? I'm like, what is happening? I thought he was toast. Oh, I mean, why wouldn't you think that, right? And then Sasha and Abraham come to the rescue with all the machine guns, and then, I mean, listen to my voice. I'm already sick. I couldn't take this episode. I was dying. I was on my couch, literally dying watching this episode. It was so good. And then, of course, Darryl and shows up with the truck, and it's got fuel in it, and he comes to the rescue by lighting up this like ravine and just fills it up full of gas. Boom, sets the rocket launcher on it, and there you go. It just helps to move the walkers into the fire, which obviously helps get rid of all of these walkers. And I love that moment when Michonne and Rick are running into the house with Carl, and then Rick is just in this moment of like, he's just so removed from the situation, and he just walks out the house by himself with his little axe, and just starts hacking away at people and going nuts. And Michonne is like, I gotta go help Rick. She kisses Carl, and then she runs out the door with her katana, and then everybody just starts to follow, and you just see finally the community, what's left of it, come together and fight and fight and fight. And it was such a good moment to see. And it was like, okay, they might just be able to get out of this situation alive. And that was awesome, because we saw some of the other families held up in the homes, and we even saw Father Gabriel, safely with Eden. Edith? No, shoot. Oh my God, how did I forget that little kid's name? So we see him, they're in safety in the church, and so he finally gets his act together and goes out and says, God has a plan, and we're going to save ourselves. And they all start going out, hacking away at people. Carol and all of them come out of hiding where they've been. It was awesome to watch that moment. And then just the way that they were cutting it all, and the sort of like the montage of everybody just hacking away and cutting and just slicing and dicing. It was pretty awesome. Oh my goodness. And it was that moment that we've all been waiting for all the people in Alexandria to just get it together and realize that you can't just keep having these dry runs. It's time to get out there and face the music and fight and live and die with it. And even Eugene got his act together. Rosita was like, you don't got to come. You can just stay here, because we all know Eugene is useless. But he earned his stripes today. So that was pretty awesome. Wow, guys. What an episode. And then at the end, it was nice to see sort of after the calm after the storm, that everyone's sort of sitting on the porch. Daryl's getting sewn up. Everyone is like getting patched up, and then you see Michonne holding the baby, and then it segues into the room, and Rick is sitting over his son, and he's basically saying, I was wrong. We can survive here. I watched it. I saw everybody get together and fight and try to save this town, and we can actually survive here. And he says, I want you to be able to see this. I want you to live in this new world that we're going to create. I thought that was great. And he said, I haven't felt this way since before I woke up in the hospital. Hello, that was 6 seasons ago. So that was pretty huge too. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get over this really nasty cough that I have. But what an episode. Oh my goodness, they went at it. They killed off Jessie and her whole clan. I mean, what? Like, that was nuts. And then, and the wolf guy died too, saving Denise. So it was kind of weird, his little transformation there through this episode, but he did. He was actually helpful. He came back to help her. He got bit. Then she tried to take him to the infirmary so she could, strap off his arm and cut it. And then Carol shot him. He was like, boom, you're gone. And she even said to Morgan, I should have killed you. So those two frenemies, yes, that'll be an interesting duo to see moving forwards. So it was also awesome to see Aaron, fighting his way through everybody as well. So all the players are back. We're all back at Alexandria now. And it'll be interesting because now, we still have this guy on the outskirts who is a force to be reckoned with, clearly, this Negan guy. And no, we don't know who he is yet because he hasn't made his presence be seen, but we know he's out there. And, now his team, or part of his team, has been blown to smithereens, which was awesome. I'm sure they'll be sending out more people looking for them and then ultimately finding Alexandria, and what that's going to look like should be very interesting. All right, guys, that is it for me. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Unbelievable. Now, here's my thing. Let's hope that they continue on this awesome track, because this is how season 6 started. It started with the big plan, and then all of a sudden, hell went, the plan went to hell, and everything veered off course because the rigs fell, and the plan just had to start right away. And then they tried to continue the plan and get all the walkers on the road, and then the horn went off and everything, madness ensued. And then that episode was sick, and then the next episode was sick, and then Glenn, we thought, died in episode 3, and then it just became a bit of a snooze fest. Except for the Morgan episode. I would say that the episode 4, which was the Morgan only episode, was good. But then after that, with the whole red herring and Glenn wasn't really dead and all this, wasted episodes that they could have combined to make smaller, more concise episodes happen. And then we got the mid-season finale, which was awesome. But there was a lot of wasted material in between there. So my point is, I hope with this outstanding mid-season premiere, we continue to go down this same vein, because I don't want to, these highs and lows with The Walking Dead that can happen sometimes, right? Where it's so good and then it's like waiting for paint to dry. Hate to say it. But we end up getting a lot of wasted scenes and repeated conversations, but I'm hoping we just keep moving full steam ahead and we get to meet this new threat that's out there. Should be very interesting. All right, guys, that is it for me. Let me know what you thought of this episode. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.